A warm good evening to every ladies and gentlemen present here. I am Priyanka, your host and moderator for the session, and we welcome you all on today's masterclass, which is on need for web content management system. It is my utmost honor to introduce you all with our today's expert speaker, who is none other than Mr. Kunal Vashisht, web development, web content management specialist. Mr. Vashisht, who comes with many years of experience as full stack Laravel engineer and in software development. Along with this, he's a certified ethical hacker and NFT trainer. So, without sparing any extra minute, let's deep dive into today's masterclass. Before that, it is highly requested from all the students to refrain themselves from any personal chat initiated in the webinar, right? So please make most out of it and interact with the mentor in order to clear your doubts. Please use the chat box for this. And I think Purva had a question about the certificate. So guys, there is a problem every time you guys are logging your email IDs and other things are not clear. That's the only reason it was delayed. Please be rest assured within 2 days, if you have attended the previous webinars, your certificate will be sent to your registered email ID. So please be rest assured about it, right? So let's start with the webinar today. Mr. Vishit, the session is all yours, please.
Yeah, thanks, Priyanka. So, guys, as finished told, uh, first of all, good evening, everyone. Today, our topic is Introduction to Web Content Management Systems. That is the efficient website management and all the stuff like creating the authentications and all the stuff from managing the content, uploadings, and all the things. So, in this session, we talk about this this stuff and how to develop a web content management system with the help of Laravel. Now comes what is Laravel? Laravel is something like first of all, what is web content management system? Web content management systems is the software solutions that enables organizations to create, store, manage, and publish digital content on their websites. You have seen like a blogging website or a digital product website like Amazon's or something. So that are all the web content management systems that comes under the category. It is allowing it enables the web content management system enables the user that is from a non-IT background or from a IT background to enable the features through a user-friendly dashboard, and that enables the thing and to manage their content, to manage their functionality and all the stuff with the help of a with the help of a user-friendly dashboard. So in that, in this session, we will learn about developing how you can develop your own web content management system with the functionalities like admin dashboard and like multi authentications, like adding the search functionality, CRUDs, and all the stuff. So what are the benefits of web content management system? It is like streamlined content creation and publishing. You can publish the content and create the content and publish to the audience. Like if my website is in the production state or my web application is in the production state, I can manage the data without any coding or without any technical knowledge from my user dashboard. I can manage all the things like payments and all the stuff. I can even edit if I have the admin access. If the website is of mine, like I have the admin access, I am the super user. So I can edit the things, I can delete the things, I can initialize users with it. Now the consistent branding and design. What is consistent branding? WCMS provides templates and themes, like you have seen the WordPress as well, the Shopify. What they are? They are the web content management system. They are enabling the users to create their website with the help of themes, templates, designs, and all the things like that. Same comes with the Shopify and all. So have you dreamt about like what these contents are made of? There are many languages like Node.js, React. The front end is of the React, but in by the database friendly and all the stuff, Laravel has the better complexity and it's all better understandability, and it's even easy to learn, like and it supports like packages and all the stuff. So then there is another benefit like for improved content governance and workflow. You can initialize the workflow. Like if I assign you a dashboard and the dashboard has some menus, so there is no need to like manually search the where are these functions, how can we manage the things. So in that way, the dashboard is a user friendly way to manage all your content, including the users, including the admin and all the stuff. Now, why use Laravel for building web content management system? Laravel is very powerful and rich framework. It is based on PHP, that is for extensive like routing, caching, and authentications. And it is like it provides a solid foundation for building complex WCM, word WCMS functionalities, including content creation, management, publishing, CRUD functionality, and all the stuff. So in that case, what is MVC architecture? Laravel based is based upon the MVC architecture. MVC's pattern is model, view, and controller. Like models are our like database schemas for mapping our database, and the HTML structure you define is the view, and the controller is for defining our functions and all the stuff. Now, what is the Laravel ecosystem and community support? Laravel is a thriving ecosystem. It has a wide range of library, packages, and extension that enables to leverage the WCMS development. The Laravel community is active and supportive, providing resources, documentation, and forums, and it has generally monthly or yearly updates going on. Currently, we focus on the development of the Laravel 8, and after that, the other things are also happened. Currently, the latest version of Laravel is Laravel 10, but our focus is on the Laravel 8 right now. Now we proceed to the next, like how you can set up. First, we have to set up our database environment, that is installing Laravel in your ecosystem, installing Laravel in your PC, how you can establish that. So for that, you have to install Composer. First, you have to install the who is typing on the screen. First, we have to install the PHP. For that, we are using the XAMPP. That is for Apache. That is our server, and it comes with the pre-installed MySQL as well. That is for our database and caching. For Laravel 8 to function, we have a PHP version of more than 7.5. So you guys have to install the PHP version of 8.1.12. So for that, go to the more downloads and go to your, if you have a Windows, Linux, I have Windows, so I'm going to the XAMPP Windows. Now here is the version 8.1.112. You have to install XAMPP of that version. It comes with the 8.1.12 PHP. So you have to install that file, the portable Windows installer.exe. I have already installed that. So I'm not installing it again, canceling it. And after that, you have to install the Composer. So for that, you go to, if you write, you go to Composer install. Go to this website, getcomposer.org. Download this Composer setup.exe file. And after your firstly, you have to install the XAMPP, and after that, the Composer will work. So there are 2 steps for installing Composer. First, you can download and run that setup and install it using Composer setup.exe file. And other way is to write these commands in your terminal. For that, you can go to your terminal. Now Composer is installed, our PHP is installed, and our server is installed. Now after that, If all the three dependencies are installed in your system, we can proceed to the next step. That is how you can install Laravel. So for installing Laravel, you have to go to your and type composer. For that, you can prefer the documentation as well, but the command is composer global require Laravel / installer. I have already installed that in my system. Make sure to install it in your in any particular folder. Install it for all the users, like command prompt is opened in your Windows administrative mode. Now, if your installation is complete, now we have to create a new Laravel project for the same. So for that, go to your, if you have installed XAMPP, you go to your htdocs. If you have installed it locally for all users recommended, you can type any, you can create the Laravel project inside any folder. I have installed it globally. So, but before that, you have to install the Node.js as well for the packages to work. For installing Node.js, because all the packages are work on Node.js. So if you go to the node.js org, and you can install the latest version. And after Node.js is properly installed, you have to install the npm. And for npm to install, you have to write in the command prompt. To check your Node installation, you can type node-v. My version is 18.1.12. Now for npm install, I have also installed the npm as well. That is the Node package manager. My npm version is 9.6.7. That is the latest version that I have upgraded. I go to this. Inside that, I have a backend folder, and in the htdocs folder, you have to type cmd. Now for creating your Laravel project, the command is composer create project Laravel / Laravel equals to. Now this equals to is specifying the version. I have the latest version of Laravel installed, but I am developing the WCMS system on the version 8. So I am defining the version. You can define the version like this: 8 point star, and our project name is WCMS. If you hit enter, it is installing the Laravel in your folder, which you have typed the CMD. Inside that htdocs, my WCMS folder is created. After that installation, I will show you. Now my folder is created, as you can see here as well. I will show you. The WCMS is created with all the files. If you want to move inside that folder, inside the terminal, you can go and type cd. My project name is WCMS, and I am inside my folder. Now for running the local host Laravel, two things are mandatory. First, our XAMPP is running, like the Apache is running as well, and the MySQL is running as well. These two services are running, and after that, we can proceed. For running our servers in Laravel, there is a command php artisan serve. If you hit enter, the Laravel server is running at your local IP. That is my localhost IP. You see, if you have properly installed the XAMPP, second thing is our composer, and third thing, the Laravel. If you have installed these three things properly, you will, after PHP artisan serve, you will see this. Okay. Now, what's this? This is our MySQL server. So if you go to this admin, it opens an interface like this. These are the databases. And for that, for our new project, we have to create a new database. If you guys have known the PHP, in PHP, we have to manually create the database and the tables. And that in Laravel, there are the database schemas for which we don't have to manually create tables and the fields and all the things. Only just one command. You have to just define the schema in your code. And after that, the tables are migrated in the database locally. You can do that in production mode as well, or you can do that in the same, like the local mode as well. So if I go to, where is my folder? My server is running. Now the installation is completed. Now we open our code inside VS Code. If you have VS Code properly installed, you will see an option to open with code. Now this is the folder architecture of Laravel. Yes, I trust the authors. This is app. Now this composer.json file comes with all the dependencies and all the folders and all the versions that you have installed in your Laravel. Now comes the database setup. Our database setup is, we have to manually change this. Let's make it WCMS. Okay. And we have to connect the database to it. Now we have to create a database with the same name, WCMS, and click create. Now this app debug true is, it is displaying errors when we got any errors. If you set it to false, it will display an error code of 500 internal server error. That is for security reasons. And Laravel is pretty much database friendly as well. Now in the database folder, in the migrations, you see all your databases. But right now, we don't have the tables inside it. But before the tables to be migrated, we are installing the Laravel Livewire for the multi-authentication part. So for that, open your terminal, enter your project directory, and open a command prompt there. Now composer require Laravel Jetstream. That is the Laravel package for authentications. You can create multi-authentication within 4 to 5 command lines. Now our Jetstream is installed successfully. Now our another command is to install Livewire. That is inside the Jetstream package. Artisan Jetstream install Livewire. Now our next command is install the npm inside our project. So for that, you have to install the node as well. That is pre-installed in your system. And after that, the npm, if you run the npm install command, the npm is installed in our project. To install the things. Now we have to run the npm run dev to make the build successful, to compile our libraries that are installed with the npm. That is done with the webpack.min.js. That is inside our Laravel project. And now we proceed to our code part. We have to make some changes before migrating that database tables to our database. Okay. First we go to app, actions, and there is Spotify. That is installed with the help of Jetstream. And inside the create new user, we have to make two changes, like email. We have to add the phone as well with the input phone, and we have to add the address as well for getting the address. It is that is for registering a new user. Okay. Now the second change we have to do is in our user migration table, migration schema. Inside that, we have to create a field with first is our user type. As we are talking about the multi-authentication, the user type is something that enables our multi-authentication. If the user by default it is 0, if the user type is default, then it's a normal user. And if the user type is 1 or something that we set, the user type is admin or super user. Now we have to add one more field that is for, and that to nullable. Nullable is something, the field can be null. The field can, if the user doesn't fill this field, it also gets registered in our database. Now our second change will be string, that is for address. If I save, now all the changes are done for the databases. Now we go to our terminal, and for migrating the database, we have a command php partition migrate. Now I show you my database are migrated. If I refresh, you see in the WCMS, these are the 6 tables that I have. Inside the users, I have done some changes, the user type, phone and address. Now, if we refresh here as well, you see a login and a register as well. That is installed with the Laravel Livewire. Now, if you install, the CSS is breaking, right? So to sort that issue, we have to go to our resources folder. Inside our resources, all the views like this, you are seeing like this file. The Laravel uses the Blade template engine for compiling our HTML. Like inside the public views, you can see this is the welcome.blade. It's pure HTML, nothing else. Right. Now, if I go for solving that issue, if I go to layouts and app.blade.php, this issue comes with the white integration. So you have to just comment it out and link the files manually, like link relevant style sheet that you're using. And this asset is a folder inside my Laravel. And there is a folder inside CSS. Inside that app.css, here are my CSS, and inside the JS app.js, you have this is a basic structure of HTML like script differ. So if I save that, and inside the guest.blade, you have to do the same change. Comment it out and add this. Now, if I go to my Laravel and make it a server and make it a refresh, you see the CSS is compiled and is getting. If I go to register as well, my CSS is sorted now. But we for register to function, there's three fields: phone, address, and user type. The user type is set default. So we don't have to create a user type functionality because that is for post. Now for the Laravel Jetstream, all the HTML inside this, the login, register, forgot, confirm password, two-factor authentication as well. With that package, you can enable the Google two-factor authentications and send the confirm password, forget password without any line of code. So I have to make the changes in the register.blade to make it function. You just have to copy that in email and 2 times. Now first field I have for phone and its ID will be phone. Its type will be number. And it's also phone. Make sure to make the typography as same as you have mentioned in the database. And go to my server and make it a refresh. My fields are added, the phone and address. Now I am making a user with the name admin. My password is not this. My password is this. Once I click on registered, it takes me to a dashboard. That is inbuilt dashboard of Laravel. As you can see, I can make the changes in the profile as well. I can enable the two-factor authentication as well with the help of Google Authenticator. And if I log out, I proceed to the main page. Now what if I, in the meanwhile, I get the entries like this admin, that's user type is 0. Now it's registered with the 0 user type because it's set to default. That is the normal user type. Now we can log in again. Now let's make a student management system for managing the data of the students, edit, delete, update, search functionality, and all the stuff. So for that, we have to create a migration for it. Okay. Now comes for creating a migration. For creating a migration and model, I am not defining 2 commands. I am giving a single command for installing that. PHP artisan make. For creating anything that is model, migration, controller, view, or anything, you can use the command PHP artisan make and then define. For example, I am making the model. I am creating the model with the name student. Okay. Now for student, this minus M, it will create a model student and also a migration to it. If I hit enter, model is created successfully and the migration is created successfully. Now model is where? Let's close this. Model is inside app models. As you see, my model is created student.php and my migration is also created. By default, this comes with two columns. One is for our ID and second one is of our timestamps. Timestamps is something like I have the created at and updated at columns inside my tables that we defined in the MySQL. So that timestamp is for created at and updated at, and there is another that is for deleted at. You can use the soft delete. I'm not going through the soft delete functionality. First, we can make it a string with name and email. Let's make the email unique for every student. And now what's that? name, email, phone, let's say. Phone is nullable. Now comes our address, that to nullable. Let's make a string type for like image. We have the image upload as well for using or for creating a student. Table string image, that too, you can say nullable. Okay. Now I have created these 6 columns inside my table. Now if I run PHP artisan migrate, my students table will get migrated to my database. It is migrated successfully. We can check it as well. The students table is inside. ID, name, email, phone, address, gender, and age. We have to create a seeder for testing, for seeding the database with the test data, like fake data. I don't have the time to like add manually the things to test the things, to manually add the things. The CRUD functionality is a different part, but for testing purposes, we can add like multiple records, multiple fake records inside our tables with a single command, with a single seeder. Now go to our code. We can make a seeder and the command is php artisan make, that is same. I'm making a seeder. Now my seeders are inside database seeders. Okay. Inside that there is only database seeder right now. PHP artisan make seeder. My seeder name is student seeder. If I hit enter, the student seeder is created. Now for my seeder to work, we have a faker class that is used in facades. I have write the code in the notepad priorly. Where is my code? This db facade we have to enter, and the faker classes as well. This is the faker class. This factory you have to import as well. The faker factory is pre-installed with the Laravel. So there is a code. I am migrating the, I'm seeding the with the fake data of within the students table. So we have to define a for each loop for that. Faker create, it is creating a faker class for me. And let's say I will add 100 entries. The for each loop is the for that is predefined with the range, and this db is the facade, like db is the database and it is using the table students. So we have to change that. Students, my first entry is of like name, then email, phone, address, gender, age. Now add email with that dollar figure. This dollar figure is used here inside that for each. Now is our address, and for phone, let's add unique as well. The email should be unique, so it is not replicating the data. Now which one is left? Age is left, and gender is left. Name, email, name, email, phone, address, gender. Name, email, phone, address. This age is not required because I haven't defined the gender class inside my database schema. Now is our image. Let's make it URL. Faker has a library. I will show you. You can use the cheat sheet of Faker as well. This is the Faker cheat sheet. This one. For the image, you can use the image URL with height as well. The with height properties. That Faker uses the image URL. If I save that, now we have to define this this student seeder inside our database seeder as well. So my student seeder colon class. If I save, now for seeding the data, I am seeding 100 records inside my student table. So for that, there is a command for seeding php artisan db seed. It is throwing me an error. Syntax error in the database seeder. That's why it is giving us an error. We are not calling it properly. Now let's try. The seeding is successful. Now, if we go to our students table, you see there are 100 records added. Like there are 4 pages and 25 rows, and my total entries are, let's say, 100. You see, it is refreshing. My last is 100. Now our authentication system is added. Now we have seeded the database with the fake data as well. Now comes the CRUD functionality. We have to create routes, controllers, views, and you validating inputs and all. So for that, the routes, we have to create controllers and we have to create views. Routes is our like the URL that you are saying, and controllers is for calling the URL. And after that controller calls that function, it is returning a view with the return command that is for return view. Okay, let's make a first add the authorization to it. Like I am the admin, I have to make a controller for the same. Controller is inside app HTTP controllers. Here now there is one file only controller.php. We have to create 2 controllers for the same. One is for my admin PHP artisan make controller admin controller. Okay. Now for admin, I am using this. The controller is created successfully. Now I am creating the controller, home controller for the CRUD functionality for enabling the users to create. So I am defining it PHP artisan make controller. Just a second. Mistake. PHP artisan make controller home controller. And this hyphen Resource is for creating the CRUD functions automatically. We have to write the code only inside that. This controller is also created successfully. It has the CRUD functionality: index, create, store, show, edit, update, destroy. Now comes what we have to make that. First, we create a student function and call it. We have to first create a route for the same as well. Route and then view. I'm not enabling it in the admin. The admin authorizations are done later. I'm making the CRUD functionality right now and wrap up the content. Like for the CRUD functionality to work, we have to create a folder with the name, let's say user. User can create his profile, right? Inside that user, we have to create a file. The Laravel is based upon the Blade template engine, so we have to make the file with this only: create .blade.php. Okay. Now, this is the boilerplate of HTML, and inside that I will define create student like this. Now inside the body, we have to that first. Where are the views? This is the HTML. You can use Bootstrap and anything that you want for creating the layout. I'm just making it simple. Okay. Now this action route add, we have to add student. Let's make some changes in it. Now this route is something we have to define. Now my route is add student or create student. Let's rename it with student. Okay, we have create a route. This is the action. If we submit the form, it is redirected to the route and save the data through the form. Now whatever its name, email, phone, address, gender, image. Name. This CSRF is for that is cross-site reference for the G. That is for our submitting the data with the post request. As you see, the method is post. If you have the basic knowledge of HTML, there are two methods, get and post. I am submitting the form with the post so that our data is secure. So for making that post request work, we have to use a CSRF token that is generated with the Laravel. This is text. Now the name and our last is image with the name. Now we have to return a view and submit that form with the route create student. So for that, we have to go to the routes, and inside web.php, all our web-based routes are defined. Now I am using the home controller, right? So we have to import that with the use statement. My home controller is inside app HTTP controllers home controller. and we have to define a route for the same route. Get request is for all users, and let's say create student is my URL, and I have to map the URL with the home controller class. We have to define like this: home controller class. Let's say I have the create function inside my home controller that we have to make to return that view. Create, and if I have to define a route for the same, this syntax is for URL, and if we add a name to it, it is my route. There is a vast difference between URL and using a route. So my name is student.create, let's say. Okay. Now this, we have to make a create function inside the home controller. Where is my home controller? Inside the create function, return. If you can return anything like array or something, for returning the view, we can use return view, and my view is inside student dot create. I have a file with inside the student folder with the create name. Okay, so when I hit that route, create student, refresh, and let's go to create student. Showing us an error. Let's check why the error is coming. What's my URL? So we have to define a URL in this case. Okay, I have written the view. So create student is a URL right now. Where it is, it is throwing us an error because there is no route. There is no route as such. Create.student. So if we remove that, our basic structure, I haven't applied any CSS or anything, bootstrap or something to it. It's a basic functionality. So it is not submitting data. We have to create a store function for that. Okay. So for creating the store function, here it is. We have to create a store function with the same syntax like that. The new is for creating. So we have to make that code inside the store function. The store function is called when, like I have a student. Okay. Now this student is, we have to import the model of the student. Use app. Inside my models, there is a student model. student.php. So we have to import that. And after that, we are creating a new student. So we define a variable $student with this. Now the image is, I am requesting an image with the file. I have defined that I'm not using the file, I'm using the image. In the name, like you see here as well, the name is image. Okay, the image name, the image is stored inside our storage folder with that same timestamp of creation. That get client original extension is the timestamp, the time whether you are submitting the data at what time. So let's move it to student image folder with the image name. My variable is let's alt and let's make the change. Student. First image is done with the image name. Now the name is phone. We have to change the specialty. Let's remove it. Phone. Now the address. Whatever sequence you can write. Address, request, address, phone, and my last one is make a space, make it different. Request, gender. Now we submit our data with the save function. Now it is returning back with message. This is something. It is, you can redirect to any route that you can that you have defined. So I'm returning it with a message. So for that message to work, you have to add this in the view. If session has message, and end it with a end if as well. You have to make that inside the view, inside your card or something. Okay. This alert and the button is shown accordingly. So it is returning back with message that student is added successfully. Now I have to map the store function to my route as well. So for route, I am sending it with a post request to submit my data securely. If I submit that data to the GET request, my data is breached. I cannot submit data with the like the credit card information or something with the GET request. So we have to make that as well. So like it, let's make a store student function. And inside my home controller, I have a class with the name of store, and I have defined a route for the same. The store is post store student. Let's say store student. Okay. So when I submitted data, it is redirect me to the dash to store.student, but I haven't defined it the create.blade. So my route is store student. So I have to map that inside my action when I'm submitting a form. So for that route, my route is what? Store student. And once I save it, all the things are getting mapped. Now let's try submitting the data. Let's make a refresh. Now let's add student 1. Email is student@gmail.com and some random numbers and address. You can add an image. IMG student. You can download an image. I save image inside my downloads with student 1. Now if I submit data through that form, go to downloads, student 1, and once I click on submit, no one null. It is okay. We have to make that image actually. That file is not there for us. We have image that we define. We can resubmit the form. As you see, student is added successfully. And if I make a refresh here as well, so I have a 100 and see the image is saved with the timestamp. It has created at, updated at, all the things are saved. Now, where is my data is getting stored? Where is my images stored? I will show you this. The image is stored inside storage folder. Where is my storage folder? Here. Here is my storage. Inside my app, there is just a second. There is a folder inside my public actually. Public. You see the image, student image, and the image is getting stored. This is my image that I stored. Now comes our displaying the list through a for each. This has 101 records. So for that, I define the index and create a table for that for displaying our data. Let's move to our like create function. Where is our create? We define list. We make a view inside the student list dot blade. So inside that, first make a boilerplate that is student list for displaying the list. Now our student list has, let's say it is our student table, right? Now this hash is for ID. I have name, then I have email, then I have phone, then the address, then the image, And the action th is for like the edit or delete functionality. Phone address has gender as well. Right. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 th. Now, if I have data, that is dollar data as, let's say, student, right? That is dollar ID plus plus. I am commenting that th for action, td for action right now because it throws an error. Our table is student image. Let's copy, paste, phone, like name. After that, I have email, and after phone, I have address. Now this is thus as same the typography like this. Email, that is small, then phone, address, gender, like that. Email, phone, then address, then gender, then image, name, email, phone, address, gender. Let's cut it. Now my image is inside my student, where it is inside my public folder. There is student image folder. So I am getting the path from there, student image slash, and this doc. This is not. This is student. This student is mapping the image from that TD. Now our list is. Now our view is created. We have to map the view to something like this. This is for edit. Like this. We have to compact the data. For displaying the data through our for each. So for that we have to go to our home controller, and inside that we have to define that data, and to displaying all the data inside the database we have to make use of the model all function. You can add pagination as well. With paginate I have 100 entries, like, so I can paginate too. Let's not display the all content. Let's add a pagination. For displaying the pagination, there is a syntax for, like, let's say there is we have to make changes in our view as well. So right now that is taking time. So it is return cat view. My view is student.list, and to displaying the data we have used the compact function. Compact and the data. Now this index function, I have to create a route for the same. For creating the route, we go to our route, get students home controller as a class, and my function is index. Oh, that's it. Now if I hit the students / students inside my this students. You see, all the data is displaying. All the 100 entries will show. This 101 as well. It is loading some time because it is just showing the images. The path is not properly set because I have imported the 100 entries with the fake data. So it is showing like this. You see, we have all the data coming. We have to style it accordingly, but for this right now, we have that functionality. We are retrieving all the data from. Now the edit and the delete functionality that is pending. Guys, the session is better longer. So we wrap up the content till the date. I am not telling the edit or the search functionality. That is a better longer concept to work on. So till the date, we wrap up the content. And if you have any suggestions, you can ask.
Oh, yes, Mr. Vasist.
Yeah, Priyanka, can you just stop my screen from your side?
Yeah, we shall do that.
Yeah, sure. Actually, I have hide the content from my side. Actually. Yes, if you guys have any questions, you can, or any doubts, you can ask here. And we wrap up the content.
Yes, Kunal.
Yes,
So,
I think there is no doubts right now. So they are asking me like for the recordings.
sure. So I'll
In the chat.
clarify all those doubts. So all the students